I'm Chef Art Smith. I'm here with the U.S. Diplomatic Culinary Chef Corps. For me, that journey started a long time ago. What's interesting, I was just listening to the amazing speeches, and I'm here in Latvia, never been before. But what was interesting about this is that you will see as I chat with you that I have been here before because Latvians have really, truly affected my life. I grew up in a very small southern town in northern southern Georgia. This little town, Jasper, Florida, population 1,000. Small, tiny. Grew up with two hardworking parents that believed that work was the answer. But grew up with a mother that also said, honey, if it's all meant to be, there's a path for everyone. But through their hard work came a wonderful woman, Leela Curry. I was raised by an African-American woman. I was later told by a very famous talk show host, you know what, son? A spirit of a black woman lives within you. So as I grew up in that town, I remember my father saying to me, son, it's a big world out there. Got to toughen up. Don't get spoiled. Don't get spoiled. As I entered school, I found that being different wasn't necessarily good because being different meant bullying. We all know what bullying is. How many of you have children or will have children that will have to face the fact that someone will not like them? But it's not about how people feel, but it's how you feel within. So as I gathered on that path and being bullied, I realized that I could beat the bully. I realized I could gather forces, I could join in different groups, and I could run for office, and I could beat the bully, and which led me into school. You know, I wasn't a great student, but I knew how to present myself, and I knew how to cook, and not even going to culinary school. The dean of my school, Florida State University, said, you know, I love you, and I think you're a really nice man, and I think you can cook, but you know, studies are not so good for you, so I'm sending you over to the governor's house. So he sent me over to the governor's house, and I started helping them, and they quite enjoyed me. And then they said to me, Art, and at the time I was 21 years old, no studies in culinary. They said, we have a special guest. Would you cook for him? I said, at a very early age, I learned a great lesson. Maybe I didn't realize it was a lesson, and it was the fact to know your audience. I said, who's the guest? Mikhail Baryshnikov. It was 1982. Ballet star, international star, Mikhail Baryshnikov stole the world away with his magnificent leaps, his journey, coming to America. So I cooked for him. I later found out he's a Latvian. And it was that truly amazing moment that my life was changed by a ballet star. What I realized is that everyone says to me, how do you meet these people? You know how you meet them? You feed them. If you feed people, they'll come. If you feed them more, they stay. If you feed them and keep feeding them, you can change the world, my friends. It's called polite protest. So through my efforts, I realized that I had the power within me. I was a chef. But the reality was, as my path went down that path of being a personal or private chef, as you may wish to call it, I realized that I was there to make their lives easier. I was there to make them feel good. It started with the governor, a ballet star, and then it proceeded to go more. You know, I was taught that a resume opened many doors. It's not about the paper. It's about the story within you and how well you can tell that story. 12 years ago, my life was completely changed. On a journey to leave a small town of Tallahassee, Florida, I moved to Chicago. And it was there in Chicago that I really did feel that I was meant to be there. Again, as my mother had taught me when I was very small, honey, there's a purpose. And it was there I met the wonderful, very talented Oprah Winfrey. Oprah. Throughout the world, I may be in Ramallah, little children come up to me, you know Oprah. The savannas of Africa, you know Oprah. Oprah is an amazing person. She had the most incredible ability to open up her heart and to make you feel that you were just sitting right there with her. And millions of people around the world tune in to listen to her and her advice. This really amazing woman put me on a stage and said, "You are my chef." And she allowed me to write my first book. And as you see, that was my first award, the Jane Spirit Award, which is the Oscars of cooking. And at that moment, I realized that it was wonderful to have this opportunity with this amazing woman, but there was something more. As you can see, there was much more. There are presidents, other presidents. So, what is one's purpose? You know, as we enter into the world, we see that there are a lot of angry people, don't we? But as you can see, I don't believe in that. I believe they're just hungry people. And how do we take people from being angry, just feeling deliciously fed? Well, in all great relationships, there are partnerships. These small steps enable us to truly make small things big things. I had the pleasure to meet a man, a leap of faith, through flowers. I love the fact that Lothian loved flowers. Jesus Salguero and I met 15 years ago and married 5 years ago. And it was through that love we decided that we would make a proactive attempt to help change the world. We saw a need that children needed to be better educated about food, but we chose to do it privately. Common Threads was a program founded in a basement of a building with a large organic garden 12 years ago, 15 kids. And by a leap of faith, meeting the grandson of Walter Annenberg of the Annenberg Foundation, today we have taught 77,000 children this year. Thank you. And I'm proud to say it was all done with private money. So through these efforts, a child learns how to cook. But most importantly, a child learns how to be a child and learns that being a child, wherever you, in that wonderful talk, wherever you are in the world, every child wants to be a child. And every mother wants to show love to that child. That is the thread. For it is my belief that we as humanity share far more things in common than different. And we must believe that we're all connected. Well, you know what? One thing you realize, you do pick your battles. But we live in a time there are a lot of battles. And one big battle that we live in is equality. How is it that we teach people love is love, family is family, and the only thing that defines us is the love that we have between us? I came here to Europe at Expo Milan and said, we need to bring pride. So as you can see, we brought pride to Milan. Might even have a wedding. I'm very excited to see that our U.S. Supreme Court will bring equality throughout the country. I went after a pasta maker. You may have heard about him. I said, if you say bad things like that, I'm going to go after you. Well, thanks to my dear relationship and friendship with Mr. Barola, we have a new program in New York City for children. Do not let people hate. Face the hate. If you stand and allow it to happen, you're as bad as the hater. If you have the ability within you to make change, you do that. Because what we don't understand turns to hate. And one of the great lessons I learned was I'm just a chef and I'm not a politician and I'm not an orator or any of that. But the reality is I have the power within me and this wonderful gift of cooking to really get people's attention. What is the sum of us? What says our success? We can win wars, we can win debates, but what really defines us, what really says is success, is our children. 4 years ago, 4 beautiful children, I decided needed a home. We brought them into our lives, Angel, Brando, Zuki, Zimmy, and I said to them, darlings, you have a greater purpose. What was great about these wonderful children is that they completely have changed our life and our mission. I returned home to baptize them in the cathedral by the bishop, first time in history. Did I ask if it was okay? No. I said, you will baptize my children. You must be brave. You must be strong. You must stand up. But you must be delicious. I just want to say, remember that in life, the small things are what makes life special. We think that we need money. We think we need power. You know what? I can tell you, a little bit of food can take you down a path that you can not really and not only imagine. A little bit of food can change people's behavior, but most importantly, can make people very, very happy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.